So here we are again, my friends. This is an illustration of the heliocentric idiocy, which is what I call it. Here we have a simple illustration of the gravity vortex, which supposedly the gravity is pulling everything to the center of the earth. And then we have a representation of the centrifugal. You can call it centrifugal if you want to. I call it centrifugal. The centrifugal force that is generated by the spinning of the earth on its axis. So we would call this an axial linear centrifugal force that is going to cause anything that's on the surface of the earth to fly off of it perpendicular to the axis of the rotation. So I call it axial linear centrifugal, if you must, centrifugal force. The problem is you've got a perpendicular centrifugal force coming out from the axial rotation, and you've got a vortex of gravity pulling everything to the center, and these two forces, imaginary forces, do not line up with each other except at the equator and at the north and south pole. The imaginary north and south pole and the imaginary equator. And you can see that the vortex of gravity is misaligned with the centrifugal force of the axial rotation. Now, when you show this to a physicist, the first thing they're going to say is, you're wrong, that's not centrifugal, that's not centrifugal, that's centripetal. And it's tiny. It's a tiny force. You can't even feel it. Centripetal. So let's take a look here. Centrifugal force is ubiquitous in our daily lives. But is it what we think it is? We experience it when we round a corner in a car or when an airplane banks into a turn. We see it in the spin cycle of a washing machine or when children ride on a merry-go-round. But centrifugal force is often confused with its counterpart, centripetal force, because they are so closely related, essentially two sides of the same coin. Centripetal force is defined as the force that is necessary to keep an object moving in a curved path and that is directed inward towards the center of the rotation. So what they're telling you is that the vortex of gravity is your centripetal force. So what these pseudoscientists are telling you is that it's like the earth is at the end of a string and you're spinning it around in a big circle, and the centripetal force is the string, or it's gravity. So whatever centrifugal force you might experience, it would be completely eliminated because of the string, which is solid, and gravity eliminates all other forces. It's what I would call lunacy. Yeah, lunacy, fairy tale. So here in New York City, you're looking at over 50-degree misalignment between the axial linear rotating centrifugal force that's going straight perpendicular to the axial rotation out versus the vortex of gravity. This is a misalignment. But you know, all of this garbage that I'm talking about here, really, you know, it's totally ridiculous, because we don't feel anything. Now, if I was on the equator, these two forces would be lined up, and if I was standing on level ground, I would feel perfectly balanced. But as I move forward, northward or south, north or south of the equator, these two forces misalign. So if I were to take a plumb bob, let's say I'm at New York City, which is, a little over 45 degrees north latitude, somewhere in there, 47, 48, whatever it is. So I'm there in New York City and I'm standing on level ground, but I'm not feeling like I'm standing on level ground because the gravity that's pulling me to the center of the earth is pulling one direction, and the centrifugal force of the spin is pulling me a different direction. So if I take a plumb bob and I hang it down, it's not going to be hanging perpendicular to the earth. It's going to have a slight lean to it because these two forces are not lined up. So actually what we're saying is that the gravity vortex right here in the center, going out, radiating out like a bullseye in every direction, is misaligned with the centrifugal force of the axial linear rotation of the earth. Now the rotation is 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. And of course, the globe heads, the globelings, they like to call that, it's only one revolution per day. One revolution in 24 hours. That one revolution is 24,000 miles. Let me tell you, that's pretty damn fast. This centrifugal force generated from a spinning ball that's 24,000 miles in circumference, covering a distance of 24,000 miles in 24 hours or 1,000 miles an hour, is not a tiny force. And the gravity vortex must be perfectly balanced with the centrifugal force for you to feel absolutely nothing. This entire illustration here of the heliocentric idiocy is comical. It's a joke. It's a lie. It's the globe lie. And this is one of the paradoxes of the globe lie. This is impossible. Thanks for watching.